Picture your life right now. What do you see? If all you see are failures, I want you to know something. That view can change. If you feel like you're staring at an endless wasteland, I'm here to show you how to spot the seeds of opportunity. The transformation begins in the most powerful place imaginable, your mind. At I end this video, we'll explore 5 proven techniques that turn mental defeat into victory. Each one taps into something remarkable you already possess, the power of thought. Through the wisdom of Stoic philosophy, you'll learn how to reshape negative thinking into an engine for growth. Watch until the end, because each technique builds on the last, forming a complete system for resilience. By the time we're done, these won't just be ideas, they'll be tools you can use every day. You'll discover how to turn what once seemed like failure into fuel for strength, resilience, and personal power. Think about this. No matter how tough your life feels right now, it could be worse. You have freedom, opportunities, and choices. One of history's greatest Stoics, whose teachings continue to inspire world leaders, had none of these advantages. He was a slave. His name was Epictetus, and he was born in 50 AD. Despite his hardships, Epictetus became one of the most influential philosophers in history. Though his body was in chains, his mind remained free. He realized that true power isn't found in controlling circumstances, but in controlling one's response to them. Eventually, Epictetus gained his freedom. But instead of becoming bitter, he built a school to teach others how to find strength in adversity. His wisdom influenced Roman emperors, modern CEOs, and even prisoners of war who used his principles to survive unimaginable conditions. Over 1,000 years later, his name endures because he embodied resilience and mental strength. If he could overcome slavery and transform his life, imagine what you can do with the challenges you face today. Epictetus taught a simple but profound truth. Some things are in our control, and others are not. This basic idea can transform your life once you truly understand it. Think about your last major setback, maybe a job rejection, a failed relationship, or a missed opportunity. Grab a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. On one side, write what you could control. On the other, what you couldn't. Most people waste enormous energy on things they can't influence. You can't change the weather, the past, or other people's decisions, but you can control your actions, effort, and mindset. Instead of feeling helpless, shift your focus. Epictetus had virtually no control over his external life, yet he maintained his inner strength. You can do the same. Every time you catch yourself stressing, ask, is this in my control? If not, let it go. If it is, take action. Now that you've identified what you can control, it's time to master the conversation happening in your own mind. When things go wrong, many of us become our own worst critics. We tell ourselves we're failures, that nothing will ever work out. But would you speak that way to a friend? If a friend faced a setback, you'd say, what can we learn from this? Or this was tough, but we can recover. I'll why this. Take a situation that's been bothering you and reframe your self-talk as if you were advising a friend. Instead of self-criticism, adopt a constructive, compassionate voice. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic, wrote his famous meditations as letters to himself, because self-dialogue isn't just talk, it's how we reshape our entire perspective on challenges. Stoics understood that we learn best through examples, not just ideas. That's why our third technique is finding strength through role models. Epictetus became a role model for countless others. Who is yours? Think of someone you admire who stays calm under pressure. Maybe it's a parent who overcame hardship, a leader who inspires you, or even a fictional character who embodies resilience. The goal isn't to idolize them, but to understand their thought process. When you face adversity, ask, how would my role model handle this? Would they panic, or would they step back and assess the situation? Would they dwell on failure, or would they see the opportunity within the setback? Take Admiral James Stockdale, for example. As a prisoner of war in Vietnam, he endured 7 years of captivity by applying Stoic principles. He didn't just survive, he led other prisoners, emerging stronger. Learn from those who have already mastered resilience, and let their example guide you. This brings us to arguably the most powerful technique, reframing failure. Most people see failure as an endpoint, but it's actually feedback. Thomas Edison, when asked about his thousands of failed attempts at creating the light bulb, responded, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's Stoicism in action. Here's how to shift your mindset. The next time something goes wrong, pause before negativity kicks in. Ask yourself 3 questions. What did this teach me? What skills can I develop from this? How does it prepare me for future opportunities? For example, if you pitch an idea at work and it gets rejected, don't see it as proof you're not good enough. Instead, recognize that you've gained presentation experience, learn more about your audience's needs, and built courage by putting yourself out there. Every setback is raw material for growth, if you know how to use it. Now, take this a step further. Most people try to avoid failure, but history's greatest breakthroughs came from those who embraced it. The Wright brothers crashed countless times before achieving flight. Marie Curie conducted thousands of failed experiments before winning the Nobel Prize. James Dyson built over 5,000 failed prototypes before inventing the vacuum that made him world famous. These innovators understood that failure isn't just to be tolerated, it's essential for success. The goal isn't to fail less, it's to learn more from each failure. Finally, let's tie everything together with our last technique, goal setting. Stoics understood that we don't suffer from challenges themselves, but from how we frame them. Many people set overwhelming goals. I need to completely change my life, and give up. Instead, break big goals into manageable steps. If you want to change careers, don't start with get my dream job. Start with research one company today. If you want to write a book, don't think about the entire novel. Start with write one paragraph. Small progress may seem insignificant, but it adds up. Epictetus went from slave to renowned philosopher through countless small choices made every day. Your transformation can be achieved the same way. Let's see how these techniques work in real life. Meet Sarah, who just opened a coffee shop. After an exciting start, sales drop 40%, and she considers closing. Instead, she applies these principles, control principle. She stops worrying about external factors, rising costs, construction, and focuses on what she can improve, menu, marketing, that self-dialogue, instead of saying, I'm AG self.